Sounds like a plan to me.
Joe D. McPhee,
Nice.
what's up? And it looks like, yes, we've got our first match underway between TitanKiller Phil and we've got a newcomer, Ashley, that just hopped in. And once again, part of what we've been trying to do with our Best of the Rest series is we are trying to make sure that some of our guys that have placed previously can kind of stop in, take a look at a few matches, and give some info. So I'll let these guys take it away, and I'll keep the guys in Discord going.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
So here we got Joe. First match of the day. We got Phil, who's a routine comer here, and we got Smashley. We got Corrin and Chrom. Both these are Fire Emblem characters, and Corrin, who's a character who actually just recently got a bit of quality of life updates with those few buffs that came from Nintendo. For those who are unaware, Nintendo frequently, every couple months or so, sends some updates to characters, and they call them fighter adjustments. And so, characters like Corrin, who weren't as widely used or played, end up getting these better buffs, as we call them. And so, here we see Phil using those new buffs here against Chrom, who's widely regarded as a pretty good character, as we call it high tier. And so right now it's pretty neck and neck. So about these two competitors, what do you got to say, Joe?
So yes, you brought up these two characters. Definitely very fun characters to watch. I know some might not be fans of Chrom in the game, but we'll have to see what he can do. But when we look at the players themselves, starting off with Phil over here, this guy, he has... What I really like about him is that he's really, really into participation of tournaments. He always seems to want to get a chance to improve. Even at the very end of the day, he's even said to myself that he honestly just enjoys coming out Thursday nights to play some games and get to meet some new people.
Definitely. And I think that along with that, Joe, is that both these competitors, Smashley, I believe, participate in my own online weekly that I do. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these two compete in this, I believe, best of three. Especially because how close these two players are, it seems, in skill right now. You're kind of seeing Phil now run away with the lead. However, last stock and the first stock that they were playing on, you kind of got to see how Phil was behind by about, I think, 100%. And while Smashley is now kind of catching up now, getting Phil to 68, I think with the new updates that Corrin has to their forward smash, and I think Phil is is pretty aware of that, considering how many times he's starting to use this in neutral. We're gonna see some pretty good games coming out from these two.
Yes, definitely. And you know, one of the things that I remember Phil said today is that he made a point when I made an announcement earlier today saying, you know, the top 5 won't be playing, and Phil makes a very bold and exciting statement saying, all right, no getting 13th today. So he's here to make a statement today, and so is Smashley with her debut in IPG.
Wow. Yeah, that was a great edge guard there by Smashley, taking out that second stock from Phil. And I think that's true. I think this, without the top 5 being in there, this time around, I think it's going to create a much different dynamic because, oh goodness!
Oh, no.
That's unfortunate. I think that may have been a misinput on Smashley's part. Or maybe just she meant to do that, but the wrong way, I suppose.
Yeah, you hate to see that kind of thing happen, right?
Yeah.
I will say they both seemed relatively even in skill level. They seemed to try and pick up patterns that each of them were doing. I think right there is one of the unfortunate things with Ike and Chrom is, if I remember correctly, if you up B away from the ledge, you're not going to snap it like most characters.
Yeah, the only way that you're able to snap it is you have to be able to turn yourself around when you do it, or be aware of that. And like, it wasn't in this situation, unfortunately. But in other situations, if you're using it to get back to the stage, like if you're trying to get onto ledge, you would try to turn yourself around by pushing the stick up into the right or up into the left, so diagonally. And then that way, your character would actually turn around when doing their up beam animation. Uh-oh.
For sure. Oh, no, and
Yeah, it's
starting
gonna
off with the first stock with what happened with Smashley's last stock with an unfortunate SD.
Yeah. And however, we are seeing a difference in stage Battlefield, and how do you think this will kind of change the pace and the gameplay that we're seeing right now?
Let's see what we got here. So it looks like one of the worst things about I know so with players in when they SD is depending on the player that can really put them on tilt or hurt their composure. But you know what? Smashley's just going out here like, you know, I didn't even lose a stock. I'm just playing just as well as I did before. And honestly, this is this is not much of a deficit, I would say, because knowing Chrom could take this stock any moment now with forward tilt or an up B, and then just by a couple strings of hits we'll have an equal percentage.
Definitely.
But Phil is definitely trying to avoid that right now and get as much percentage gain as he can before losing the stock. And almost
wow.
at rage. Oh, and right as he hits max rage, he loses his stock.
Yeah. And I think this is kind of going to be the interesting thing that we saw from some of the other players, specifically the top 5 or top, like, I'd say probably our top 8 placers, is that all of the players who have started to show, like, some promise, I would say, or those who are kind of, or practice the game a little bit. There's this term extra credit. And it's not universal, but it's a term that essentially means that if you're able to take a stock off of somebody, you're going to try and get as much percentage as you can. And now we're going to see what Phil can do extra credit-wise on this last stock of Smashley. And, oh my goodness, that shield. That was very close to a broken shield. Now, I don't think that move could have broken it.
Oh, yeah, Smashley might want to start watching her shield because...
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Takes a bit of time for the shield to fully recover, so a couple of strong hits with a shield, and that could cost... Maybe because it's Smashley's fighting a Corrin, might not be able to take the stock at this percent, but would at least do a heavy amount of damage.
Yes, definitely. And I think now what's the problem is that with all the changes that were made to Corrin, she does a lot more, or he and she do a lot more damage to the opponent. And when you're ahead like this, you don't have to worry about like your risks that you take, because Phil is now in a situation where he's about to lap Smashley in percent, and there he goes. And we're going to see Phil now kind of just go for anything, go for whatever. He's gonna charge a smash attack, go for a dash attack. Like if he's off stage, who cares? Because he might make Smashley make a mistake, and that might cost her the game. Similar to how in that first game, Smashley had that unfortunate last stock SD. And see, there's another passive F smash. And what I mean by that is that Smashley kind of got to, or Phil, I'm sorry, got to stay far away from Smashley and doesn't really have to approach it at all. Like he's he's obviously in the lead right now. It's like by a whole stock and 120%. It's like he's showing like just utter dominance in this match, especially compared to how it was a bit closer in that game 1.
Exactly, and you know it's a good thing you brought that up about Corrin being able to play a bit more defensive. Oh, almost got a spike there. That with Chrom, you have to essentially play aggressive, and with Corrin trying to usually, it seems like, wall out the opponent with the pins and the forward smash and the neutral B with the Dragon Fang, Chrom essentially has to play even more aggressive. So I think what would help Smashley here, she's getting close to that comeback, is sort of going for a bit more tricks.
That F smash, that's what's going to be taking the game, and I think the set as well from Smashley.
Yep, I believe. Yep, that will be a 2-0 for Phil.